Konnichiwa.
Hi.
Hi.
Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Hey, nice to see you.
So you are talking about a teaser yesterday.
I gave a little
for
teaser
today's
yesterday.
topic.
I did, yeah.
Nandayo.
So what's it all about?
Yeah.
So just back from Japan, where I was in Japan. I was in Tokyo
Yeah.
and Osaka. Very interesting seeing what was going on up there.
Osaka is interesting. Osaka,
Yeah, I like this. My second time in a couple of years. I like Osaka.
Has been in the news because of the change of status of the city.
Well, the non-change. I was there when they had the referendum.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about today is kind of like bigger trends there because this is Hong Kong's future, in a way. And it goes to aging and population demographics.
And the non-change of Osaka is actually related to clinging to the status quo that we have discussed yesterday.
Yeah, kind of. But it was close. It was close. I mean, it was fit food.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to talk about. There was a shocking number that I had a big discussion with some people about. 1 in 7 homes, 1 in 7 houses in Japan are vacant. Empty. Abandoned. As in, nobody will ever live in them again.
Wait. Vacant
Yes.
and abandoned
Yeah.
are two different concepts.
I know.
And you are talking about not vacant,
No, I'm talking
but
about...
abandoned.
Well, they're...
Not vacant.
Sometimes they're
but
vacant,
abandoned,
and
right?
they're abandoned not in title, but they're
Okay.
abandoned in that...
I will be very careful.
Yeah. But they're abandoned in that nobody will ever live in them again. And people get given them... So you get old people die, and then it is inherited by their children, who are quite often in their 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And they're like, I'm never going to go back to the village. I'm never going to live in this place.
Yes.
It's not even good as a holiday home because there's nobody there. There's no services anymore because the villages are disappearing. Tokyo's overloaded. But the rest of the country, I mean, and so these houses are there and they're vacant. Squatters sometimes go into them. And when you tell people, okay, you've got to get rid of it. And they're like, well, I can't sell it. Nobody will buy it. Even like nice houses. There's, they were talking about a guy who had a house in Yokohama, bought it for 140 million yen. Now he can't sell it for 30.
Oh, yeah.
Like a nice house. But a lot of these houses, squatters, they're falling apart, they're disintegrating, and the government comes along and says, you either have to maintain it, you have to pay tax on it, or you have to demolish it, right? And they're like, I can't afford to do any of those. I was supposed to get an inheritance that was to help me for the rest of my life, but instead what I'm getting is a curse.
Yes.
These abandoned houses are a curse on people, so now governments have actually set up special departments to try and help people get rid of their properties, turn them back over to the state, and they're like, we'll help you, but you got to pay to demolish it and rehabilitate the site.
Yeah.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
Like parents are trying to figure out how not to give their inheritance to their children.
Yeah. There was a scary news in New York Times about a lot of the people in the mid-50s or even in mid-60s in Japan.
Yeah.
Their parents will be about 90 years old or even 100 years old. And they just wrap around their body and give them minimum food. And even if their parents die, they did not tell the government so that they can continue get elderly subsidy.
Oh, wow.
For 2-3 years.
Wow.
So they're sleeping with the corpse in this abandoned housing.
Oh, like their spouses?
Not spouses. Their parents.
Yes. Okay, that's pretty crazy stuff.
It's crazy. And, and there are...
Not one or two cases.
Not one or two. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, so there's... it's a very...
It's very creepy.
Okay, so what's the relevance to Hong Kong? What's got the relevance to Hong Kong? Right now, we are going crazy about our housing shortage. But if we don't get immigration right, we are going to go down that path. Hong Kong, it looks like you think, how could that happen? But in 2 years, 2017, our workforce will start declining.
Oh, yes.
And our population is aging rapidly. So if we don't know that, we're not going to make that many more babies. We need to bring in more people.
Okay.
So otherwise, that's the one thing that Japan won't do.
Otherwise, you have an abandoned city.
We're going to have abandoned cities and abandoned homes. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think of now.
Keyword for today? Abandoned.
Abandoned. Okay. Let's not let it happen here.
Watch out for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.